even my memory. And you know what? The longer you take Think Factor, the better the results are. If you've ever felt mentally foggy or struggled to keep up with everything on your plate, well, Think Factor can help you reclaim your cognitive edge and thrive in your life. Call 800-4RELIEF, 800 the number 4RELIEF, or visit relieffactor.com to order Think Factor. Call 800-4RELIEF or visit relieffactor.com. Your first bottle, just $19.95. Think Factor. Think clearer, perform better daily.
Arkansas Senator Tom Cotton is quite upset with how NATO leaders have treated the United States.
And I think those leaders are going to have a lot to answer for when this is over. Unfortunately, I think most of them are doing this not out of some geopolitical calculation or strategic insight. They're doing it because most of them are very unpopular. And they see Bernie and Canada high up in the polls by opposing Donald Trump on everything, and they want to do that in their domestic politics as well.
Senator Cotton made his comments to the Salem radio network. As the U.S. and Israel's war with Iran squeezes global oil supplies, travelers have valid reasons to worry about the cost and availability of flights as they plan their late spring and summer trips. Experts say booking earlier and staying flexible on dates, destinations, and departure airports can help reduce costs. Packing light means avoiding rising baggage fees, using airline points or signing up for a travel credit card are other ways to make flights more affordable. Breaking news and analysis at townhall.com. The top election official in Arizona's most populous county will get more authority in running elections after a judge sided with his office in a legal fight with a local board that shares responsibility for overseeing the vote. Bernie Bennett has more.
The decision could have broad implications in one of the nation's most prominent battleground states, which will have several high-profile races this fall. Justin Heath, the Republican recorder in Maricopa County, which includes Phoenix, sued the predominantly Republican County Board of Supervisors last summer, alleging it had illegally taken control of certain aspects of election administration. Maricopa County Superior Court Judge Scott Blaney mostly sided with Heath's office in his ruling, which was filed Thursday, but appeared on the public docket Friday. Bernie Bennett reporting.
President Trump has directed his administration to speed up reviews of certain psychedelic drugs, including ibogaine. That drug and other psychedelics remain banned under the government's most restrictive category. You'll find more breaking news and analysis at townhall.com.
Jeez. Here we go.
The opinions expressed on this program are those of the host and do not express the views of WVBF ownership or Hometown Talk Radio. Content aired on all programs are those of the host and their guests. Hey, Joey, what's happening? I mean, what's happening in Middleboro and surrounding towns? It's time for the Middleboro Week in Review with your host, Joey Driscoll. Stay tuned for news, Middleboro news, here on AM 1530 WVBF. Hey, Joey, what's happening?
And good morning, everybody, and welcome to Middleboro in Review. And today is Sunday, the 19th of March. 19th of April. Here we go. The 19th of April, skipping months here. We're going back to months here. It's April 19th, 2026. Good morning, Don. How are you?
Good morning, Joey.
All right, we're going to get right into it because we have a guest coming up in just a couple of minutes. So, our today in history's birthdays and passings, we'll do that first. 1782, John Adams secures Dutch recognition of the United States as independent government. The house, which he had purchased in The Hague, becomes the first American embassy. 1861, during the American Civil War, Baltimore riot of 1861 takes place. A pro-secession mob in Baltimore. They attack the United States Army, troops marching in the city. 1943, during World War II, in German-occupied Poland, the Warsaw Ghetto Uprising begins after German troops enter the Warsaw Ghetto to round up the remaining Jews. 1956, actress Grace Kelly marries Prince Rainier of Monaco. On this day in 1960, students in South Korea hold a nationwide pro-democracy protest against President Syngman Rhee, eventually forcing him to resign. 1987, The Simpsons first appear as a series of shorts in the Tracy Ullman Show, first starting with Good Night. 1993, the 51-day FBI siege of the Branch Davidian building in Waco, Texas ends when a fire breaks out. 76 Davidians, including 18 children under the age of 10, died in the fire. In 1995, Oklahoma City bombing, the Alfred P. Mora Federal Building in Oklahoma City is bombed, killing 168 people, including 19 children under the age of 6. 2005, Cardinal Joseph Ratzinger is elected to the papacy and becomes Pope Benedict XVI. 2011, Fidel Castro resigns as the first secretary of the Communist Party of Cuba after holding the title since July of 1961. 2013, the Marathon bombing. Suspect Tamberlin Tsarnaev is killed in a shootout with his brother, with police. His brother is there captured, hiding in a boat inside a backyard in the suburb of Watertown. Birthdays: 1721, Roger Sherman, American lawyer and politician. 1934, Dickie Goodman, American singer-songwriter and producer. 1935, a year later, Dudley Moore, and Don was talking to me about these two guys.
Who's that?
Dickie Goodman and Dudley Moore.
Dudley Moore was awesome, an author.
Yeah.
And he was in a bunch of other movies too. And Dickie Goodman, anybody from the 70s, he did a lot of these crazy programs, radio skits where he'd talk and interview somebody about different things, and then they'll play a song for his answer. And I know Jim Larkin did that too. Jim Larkin used to do Sounds of the Emerald Isle.
Yeah.
He did that, and he knew Dickie Goodman. So we had a conversation about that, which was pretty interesting. And I thought it was always funny.
Born on this day in 1946, Tim Curry, English actor and singer, of course, best known for Rocky Picture Show. I know him for being the voice of a character in one of the Scooby-Doo movies, The Witch's Ghost, Scooby-Doo and the Witch's Ghost, and that was a great film. If you like Scooby-Doo, check that particular one out.
I would have got away with it if it wasn't for you blasting kids.
Exactly, and hearing Tim Curry say that was awesome, just so awesome.
They all say it.
They all say it, yeah. But
Yeah.
hearing Tim Curry say it in particular was awesome because Tim Curry's awesome. So check that out. Scooby-Doo and the Witch's Ghost. 1968, Ashley Judd, an American actress, born on this day. Born on this day, 1979, Kate Hudson, American actress. Born on this day, 1981, Anakin Skywalker, Hayden Christensen, born on this day in 1981. He is 45 today. He's still involved a little bit in the Star Wars universe. I believe he was part of Kenobi, if I'm not mistaken, right? He was part of Kenobi. He was in that.
Yes, yeah.
Born on this date, also in 1981, Troy Polamalu, American football player. Born on this day in 1983, Joe Mauer, American baseball player. 1986, Candace Parker, born on this day, legendary WNBA player. 1987, Maria Sharapova, legendary tennis player, born on this day. And born on this day in 1990, former Red Sox great Jackie Bradley Jr. He is now, I believe, out of the league now, I think, at this point. He is. He was great here in a Red Sox uniform, Jackie Bradley Jr. Deaths on this day, 1881, Benjamin Disraeli, an English journalist and politician, became Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. Passing away in the state in 1882, Charles Darwin. Passing away in the state in 2021, Walter Mondale, American politician, 42nd Vice President of the United States. And passing away in the state in 2022, Kane Tanaka, a Japanese super centurion, I believe the second oldest verified person ever, as well. So that is your birthdays today in history's passings. Our birthdays, our birthdays, passings, and today in histories. Our weather: 48 degrees in Taunton, high 55 today with a low of 39, cloudy. Cloudy skies today with a little bit of actually definitely rain coming late this morning and throughout the rest of the day. Monday also rain, 50 degrees for the high, 34 for the low. Middleboro 47 right now, high of 54, low of 40. Rain coming later on. Tomorrow rain as well. Again, 50 degrees for the high, 34 for the low. Driscoll, Texas, 57 degrees right now, a high of 70, low of 54. Feels like 49 degrees. Cloudy skies today. Rain in the forecast for the next 3 days. Temperatures kind of hanging around the high 70s. Driscoll, North Dakota, 23 degrees. Low of 22, high of 44. That's at 44 degrees since late April. But the temperatures will go back up into the 70s tomorrow, and pretty nice. But Monday night, 32 degrees for the low. Holiday, Florida, 81 degrees for the high, 69 currently, 68 for the low, cloudy skies. So there you go, 7:15 a.m. We are going to take a quick commercial break, and when we come back, we're going to have a great guest joining us, and we'll tell you about it when we come back. We'll be right back. Speaking of the guest, and say, good morning. Is this Steven? All right, Steven, we're on a commercial break, and we're going to be right back in about 2 minutes. Yeah, I'm not sure how to fix that. It's something with our phone lines, so we'll try to mitigate it as good as we can here throughout the interview.
We can hear you fine,
We
though.
can hear you fine. You're coming through perfect. You're gonna come through perfect when we go back on the air. It's just that you are gonna have trouble probably hearing us, I guess, at times. I don't know what's up, with the feedback. Okay, awesome. I see you. Yep. Awesome. We got about a minute. About 45 seconds. All right, here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we are live. And good morning, everybody. Let me turn that bumper music down. There we go. And we are going now here to say good morning to our guest, Stephen Provost of Traveling New England. Good morning, Stephen.
Good morning, Joey.
And yeah, go ahead.
By the way, touring New England.
Touring New England. Thank you. Touring New England is what Stephen. Do you head that up, or are you a part of it? You started it.
So we started the video production back in 2017.
Yep.
And I now have about 425 subscribers to my YouTube channel.
So tell us a little bit about you and how you started touring New England, and what made you want to start it.
Well, we started because I have over through my whole youth. Basically, my parents brought me all over New England, traveling with camping and day trips. And I just love every nook and cranny, just every part of New England that's out there.
And you mentioned to me that you have some radio experience. Tell us a little bit about that.
Say that again, please.
You were talking to me about you having radio experience. Tell us a little bit about the radio experience that you have.
So in the early 1990s, I started off, a friend of mine who lived in actually the same town that I grew up in, told me that he had a radio show. And he invited me up to the studio to start off doing the weather forecast for him. And then I took the radio broadcasting class there at the studio. And I got my ticket to go on air. And that was over at 90.7 FM, WTTC at Springfield Episcopal Community College.
Good morning, Stephen. How you doing? This is Don, Joey's co-host.
Yep.
As far as touring New England, what exactly is it? Is it like, do you prepare trips for people, or do you send them in an area, or you try to let them know where to go, or is it just more filming or pictures? What's it all about?
So we bring people through video, which is our main part of it. We go around. We actually go. Mike and I, my partner, go around New England and do video stories about different tourist attractions, cool events, and all kinds of cool things in New England. Places that you wouldn't think that would be there, but hidden in the really nice areas of New England, we have a lot of great tourist attractions, and we try to bring those to people that may not know about it, who may not live in the New England area.
So, since starting touring New England, what are some of the interesting things that you've seen and that you have been able to talk about when it comes to your shows for touring New England? What are some major, either whether it be events that you had a chance to go and see and talk about, or any points of interest?
Well, there's a lot of great places here in New England to visit, including up there in Boston. New England is basically a very historical location. No matter where you go, whether it's the mountains of New Hampshire or Vermont, maple syrup production, even up here I'm actually up here in the Berkshires in Massachusetts, and we have the famous Hoosick Tunnel here. We have Norman Rockwell Museum. We have the Mount Grand Lock. We have Jiminy Peak. We have so many awesome things here in New England that since it's springtime, people are now beginning to do a lot of tour going out and getting out and exploring.
Yeah. So go ahead, Don first.
Yeah, Ron, as far as the Hoosick Tunnel, I did a lot of exploring when I was in my 20s. And I did find, I think it's called Twin Cascades Waterfall, which is just about a quarter mile behind the eastern portal of the Hoosick Tunnel. How many waterfalls have you guys discovered? And do you really talk waterfalls? When I'm thinking historical stuff, I'm thinking natural would be waterfalls, historical, and this side would be lighthouses. You got the dam there up in Monroe, Massachusetts, which is a very interesting town. Used to have a little pub there called the Depot, I believe, and I think it's closed. So you really know a lot of nooks and crannies from the Berkshire side because you live in Berkshires, or what is your best stomping ground of your knowledge of, say, New England?
Well, the area that I live in is called Dalton, Massachusetts. And one thing it's very famous for is, believe it or not, if you take a dollar bill or any kind of dollar denomination, the paper for the U.S. Treasury is made right here in Dalton, Massachusetts. And not far from where I live, up the street, it's called Wacona Falls. And on a regular basis, Michael and I go up and visit Wacona Falls. And it's a beautiful place to have a picnic or to have a nice barbecue and visit with family. So it's really a fantastic place, including a place called Fast Fish Falls. It's on the New York, Massachusetts border, and it's a beautiful falls. People used to be able to go down there and actually go swimming in the falls. But now, because people got so hurt, a lot of people got hurt at the falls. They don't allow people to go swimming there anymore.
Is there a place, any of the waterfalls where you can go swimming that is safe enough? Because that sounds like fun. And Bass Fish Falls, Mount Washington, Mass area. I've been there, and it's really nice.
It is. It's definitely a beautiful, beautiful place to visit. As far as I know, I haven't spotted any yet as of right now. But I'm always on the look for places to go swimming here in the Berkshires.
Yeah, no, it's that's something that would be really nice. But mum's the word on that because you don't want too many people coming in there and ruining it for you.
Exactly. Once you find something.
Yeah, I had a nice little fishing hole at Bass Fish Falls, and then all these out of towners coming in and ruin it for you. So that's not fun.
Yeah, really.
Joey and I, we got a theme going on. I mean, we started it last year. We go to Pennsylvania, but on the way, we stopped at Binghamton, New York, and saw the Binghamton Rumble Ponies on the way home. And do you put sports inside too? Your local teams, high school teams, because we really push that, especially with the minor leagues, because it's definitely a cheap date.
I'm actually more like the professional teams here in New England, such as our famous Celtics, the Boston Bruins, the Red Sox, and of course, our Celtics.
Yeah, speaking of the sports side of things, Miller's Falls. There's this tunnel. I believe it's in Miller's Falls. John, you can correct me if I'm wrong on this. It's in Miller's Falls. It's this tunnel you go through. I believe it's right before the town, and on that is kind of like a mural kind of thing. And I believe it refers to.
It's an overpass.
Might be referring to the Chicago Black Sox. I'm not 100% sure.
It was that player, wasn't it?
Yeah. Oh. So yeah. So it's it might be referring to a Red Sox player, with a bloody sock. So I'm not sure what it is, but it's sports murals in this area here, New England. I've seen a lot of them. What have you seen when it comes to that?
Well, here in Adams, North Adams, I forgot what town exactly it is, but there's a beautiful mural or photo pointed on the side of what's actually Goodwill store, and it's a picture of a nice, beautiful steam engine going into the Hoosick Tunnel. I love it. It's just so beautiful.
It took me a long time to find the western porthole of the Hoosick Tunnel. It took me 2.5 hours. I probably couldn't find it now. Everyone knows where the eastern side is over there on that road, the road, Row, Mass, and Zoar. Remember, you know where Zoar is, right? It's right on the Deerfield River, and they have a lot of the, I think that's where they started a lot of the whitewater rafting. A lot of whitewater rafting companies up on that side of the Mohawk Trail and Route 2, right?
Yeah. So I used to work at one of the whitewater rafting place called Zor.
Yep.
Which is really, they do some nice tours down. They start at the dam and they work down to where actually just across the street from their where you actually book your whitewater rafting tour. And there's another place down the road a bit. They also do whitewater rafting trips, but it's really, really cool.
Yeah. I spent some time there, and I found this little, I think it's closed now, but you know, back in like the 2000s, the place was called the Depot. It was in Monroe, Mass. So it's a little north of where the eastern porthole of the Hoosick Tunnel is. You go by the dam, the facility, and there's a tour too. You can go in and check it out. And then if you go further up, you hit that little town, Monroe. Row. I'm sorry, it's Row. It's Row, Mass, or Monroe, Mass.
Oh.
You know that town? And then it was there used to be a bridge that used to go over to the nuclear power plant that used to be there. Are you familiar with that town?
They used to have an actual nuclear power plant in Row.
Right.
That has been now since discontinued, and it actually is in a. They've actually pulled all the stuff out of there, the nuclear waste out of there.
Right, but
and now it's just
there used to be a bar. You remember the little bar restaurant there? I think it closed down, but it was open like 20 years ago. Do you go back? That it was just unbelievable little bar. It was like in the middle of nowhere. I took my mother there. I took my whole family there, and it was really good. And every time I go by there, I haven't been by in a while, I always hope someone buys it and reopens it, because I just think it's a great little spot. The town's in the middle of nowhere. I mean, and then you head up to Vermont, and there's a big pond, you know. So
Miller's Falls is in the middle of nowhere
yeah,
as well.
Yeah.
We mentioned that earlier.
yeah. But I mean, New England's one thing, but just Western Mass, where you live, is just a treasure trove of things that are nice. And I always think that people who haven't been to Western Mass and haven't seen Western Mass is missing out, in my opinion, because it's not like out here. I mean, I don't even think I see one strip mall in Western Mass.
Now, I'm going to ask this. Have you been to Florida? And I'm not talking about the state.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Actually, just above the Hoosick Tunnel is actually the town of, believe it or not, Florida and Massachusetts.
Yeah, it is
Yeah.
Florida, and then Adams is North Adams is the western side. It's funny because, you know, I always tell my friends I'm going to Florida. I'm gonna be back tonight. You know, it's kind of a fun thing. And then you have the hairpin turn on Route 2. I mean, there's just so much of it. But we met at the Guthrie Center at Thanksgiving. That's where Joey and I met you. We interviewed Mo Guthrie last June, and tell us about what they're doing. I mean, how do you get involved with the Guthrie Center, and have you been involved for a whole long time?
So within the last 3 years, Mike and I have been going to the Thanksgiving meals at the Guthrie Center, and It's a community meal. I mean, it's a free meal, but reservation is definitely required if you want to attend their meal, because they have so many people that are interested in going and attending that meal. Just last year, we found out if people are following the song called Alice's Restaurant, the actual lady who actually is Alice, she just recently passed away last year. And we're very sad about her passing. And it's just knowing the Guthrie family now, since I've been going to the Guthrie Center for a couple of years now. Michael and I have become what's called friends of the Guthrie Center. And it's only like a couple dollars per year to go be a member there. And you get discount tickets to some of their concerts and some of their events over there at the Guthrie Center.
Yeah, we had the opportunity of going to the Guthrie Center and interviewing Mo Guthrie, which was a great interview. And actually, we'll probably be heading out there again
Very soon.
pretty soon. So hopefully, maybe we can get together or something like that when we head out. But we're going to be heading out there sometime, probably next month. But it's such a nice area, and the Guthrie Center. I mean, there's so much history, so much folklore, just around that song he wrote in 1965, and went on the events of 1965. Then he wrote the song in '67, and then the movie came out in 1969. And it just seems like time stands still over there, and I'm really fascinated with. I could talk to you about the Berkshires only. This whole show. I mean, I know New England's a big place, and I've seen a lot of New England, believe it or not. I've traveled quite a bit. Northern Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont. I know every stitch of Rhode Island, every stitch of Mass, almost every stitch of southeastern Mass, Cape Cod, Connecticut. It's just such a beautiful, beautiful area. But you can't forget New York, too, because it's on your back door, pretty much. I mean, what are you, like a half hour from the New York line, where you are?
Yep. So one of the things I want to kind of press upon here is that actually after Hairpin Turn on Route 2A, which is the Mohawk Trail, there's a place called the Golden Eagle Restaurant, and it's literally just almost on. It's right after Hairpin Turn, but inside when they're open, they have really awesome meals there at very reasonable price. I won't say any prices because I know that's probably not forbidden here. But they really have some good stuff there, and they're really having some hard time and difficulty right now because the state and town are trying to close them down because of some other accidents that happened years ago, and some stuff tipped over. So they're trying to get the state and the town are trying to get them to close down and no longer do business because of pollution to the water system. So Mike and I rode back to the Golden Eagle Restaurant. Now, just bring it back to the Guthrie Center. It's called the Old Trinity Church. And believe it or not, today, and probably Zoe knows about this, some years, the whole song, Alice's Restaurant, is actually a full, true, and complete story. So what the story that you hear in Alice's Restaurant actually really did happen. And every year they have a walk from the actual location to the actual location where Arlo dumped the trash, the garbage. And sadly enough, we also, by the way, lost the officer that was actually that arrested Arlo and his the other people.
Officer Obie.
Yeah.
Yep,
Several years ago.
passed away.
Yeah.
Yep.
When did he pass away?
Probably a few years ago.
Really? Wow. I mean, he must have been in his 40s in 65, 60, or whatever. But that's interesting. As for I talked to a friend's friend who he was at a concert and he bumped into Officer Obie. I think he was in Lenox doing a detail back in 1976. So I guess they were still doing details, and he bumped into Officer Obie. So I was talking to my buddies. His name's Maz, who was Mark's friend there. But it's funny how, he had a regular career and just that folk song made him famous. So it's just, it did. And like, I think Mo told me last year, and we just missed it. I think that walkathon is in May, and he tells me a lot of people with VW microbuses come by, and it's like a big VW microbus place. So there's a place down in Plimpton, Massachusetts down here. If you know where that is, it's down, Halifax, Plimpton, Kingston, Carver, down in the Cranberry country down here. And there's a place, and I swear to God, I've been living down here for 30 years. And I've been driving by this place for 30 years. I've never seen anybody walking around, and I'm afraid to walk to the door because I think I'm going to get shot. But he has about 30 VW microbuses just sitting there rotting away. It's kind of a shame because he's got so many of them. It's the most VW microbuses I've ever seen in one area in my life is down here in Plimpton on Route 58. So that's very interesting. But do you attend that? Do you do that walkathon?
I haven't been able to as of yet, but I do know quite a few of the Guthrie family members, and it's really a very much honor and privilege to know the Guthrie family members.
Oh yeah. How often we saw Cold Quest and the City Vickers last June, and Arlo was there for the first Saturday. I got to meet him, talk to him. That was a treat. He was just mellow. He's over in his little corner there, just watching the show. That was a family member. I think that's his nephew, Arlo's nephew, I believe, or Mo said his nephew. So I'm not quite sure. But it was good to see it. We saw one show there anyway, which was a real treat. And the sound is so good in that old church. And it was just really interesting to go there. And I just always loved going to the Berkshires. I do like traveling around, and I have a lot of knickknacks. So, I got a lot of little hidden spots I can show you too, because I've been around. But it's just, I like picking people's brains because I like people picking my brains, because the more you know, the more you can tell your people, and the more I know, the more I can tell my people. And there's just places I've been to, like a sweet little gems, even in Dorchester. There's like neighborhoods in Dorchester that are they look like you're in Ireland in some areas. It's just beautiful the way the houses are all done up, and they're so old. There's a carriage house in Dorchester, rebuilt 1896 carriage house. It built like a carriage house, and like in the middle of the city. So you have gems everywhere.
Before we move on to Boston here, we'll talk a little bit about Boston here since we're on that topic. But I want to ask you, what is your favorite songs from Arlo Guthrie?
Oh, it's definitely his legendary song that he did back is actually the number one song that I love from him is actually Allison's Restaurant.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, he does so much good stuff.
He does.
Actually, he does the song Massachusetts, and I guess it's the official folk song of the state. I guess if you look back in state records. So he does a song called Massachusetts, and there's another band that does a song called Massachusetts.
The Bee Gees.
But they don't. It's not about our state. It's
not about Massachusetts.
It's not about Massachusetts. So I give the winner to Al Guthrie in that department.
Go ahead, Stephen.
So by the way, I just looked up the Guthrie Center website, and we actually missed the walk. It was Sunday, May 17th.
May 17th?
That's next month.
Oh, May 17th. Sorry, May 17th.
Yeah.
Yep, so it's still on May. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
The registration for the day starts at 8:30, and the walk begins at 10 o'clock.
Yeah, it's about 5 miles, 5.5 miles, or something like that. Walk.
I think so.
Yeah.
So, speaking about Boston now, what are some areas in Boston that you love and love to go back to again and again and again?
The areas around Boston. I mean, there's so many areas around Boston that's so awesome. Especially the Jewish history,
Go ahead. We kind of lost you there. Go ahead. Say that again. You there? Yep. You there? I can kind of hear you.
Did you move your location, Steve? Are you like walking around, or are you thinking of one spot here? Maybe go back to.
You there, Steve? Okay, we're gonna hang up, and can you call us back?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll hang up and call us right back, please. Okay. Okay. He's gonna call us right back. Call us right back, Steve. 508-822-1106. That happens sometimes with the connection here. So
Yeah, sometimes if you walk around,
yeah,
you don't realize,
you don't realize the connection yet.
that's why. Yeah, I mean, I know when Danny calls us, he sits like at his desk.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't walk around. Because at first. But
All right, here we go. Steve, are you back?
Yes, I'm here.
Awesome. Okay. So when it comes to Boston, what are some areas that you visited in Boston?
So, there's so many things in Boston to visit and see. It's walking the Freedom Trail is one of the best things you can do in that Boston area.
Absolutely, I agree. I 100% agree. I've done it, and it is awesome. Absolutely awesome. So much history there. I've been to North Station, South Station. What are your thoughts on South Station and the new tower there at South Station?
The new tower. What do you think? You mean the railroad for the railroad?
Yeah, for the station, for South Station. There's a new tower right above it now. What do you think?
Oh, yes. That's kind of interesting. I don't know exactly what's going to be moving into that tower, but it was kind of, it may be some good things for that whole building to come forward.
It's open now, and I believe it's mixed use. So there's different things with it.
yeah, I don't think it's quite open, all of it.
No, not all of it, but
Yeah,
some of
they're
it
still doing
is.
some work in the-
I believe there's going to be apartments in there, but the building, it had a grand opening. So
Well, they opened up the.
there's parts of it that are open.
They opened up the escalator too to the bus terminal.
Yes.
Right. I mean, you don't have to walk all the way to the other side. There's another set of escalators that go back and pops you on the other side of the bus terminal. So that's all connected.
So speaking of the train history here, let's go back to the train history. What are some things? Because you've mentioned to me that you also are a rail fan as well. Me and Don are big rail fans. What are some things that you've seen out there looking for trains that has interested you the most?
Well, I definitely, for one of the most important things is I love the Hoosick Tunnel. I try to spend a lot of time there, but also here in Chester, Massachusetts, is definitely, I love the Chester Railroad Station. And coming up May 16th, they're having what's called Chester on Track. And it's 9 to 4, and they're going to have all types of cool things. Touring New England, my video production, we're going to be there inside the station with a booth and be able to talk to people and viewers about touring New England.
Who's running it? We interviewed. We had an interview not too long ago, about 5 years ago.
About that.
Yeah. Who's running it now? Do you remember the guy's name?
His name is Dave.
Dave, was that his name? Dave. He's been running it for last 5 years, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. We
Okay.
interviewed him about 5 years ago. We put him on the show, whatever. We ran his tape. I don't think he called, but he was nice enough to let us. But we spent some time there too, and he told us about the old roundhouse that used to be there, and that was like years ago in the 1840s. People from all over the world would come from Russia, Switzerland, because technically that area was the first mountain railroad in the world. That's what he told us right there. So I mean, having and they had all the helper engines there, and to get them over the hill. But it just goes to show that's the first mountain. I mean, considering what mountain railroad has turned into worldwide, I really think that was the beginning of it all. And Chester is I love that stretch of Route 20 there, all those towns, because there's areas you can pull over and the tracks go right next to the road, and you can sit there, and it's just, oh my God, it is really nice. It's Jacob's Ladder. That's the road. Any folklore stories on Jacob's Ladder about any ghosts or anything like that, or anything that supernatural? Any supernatural kind of stories that you might know of? Any folklore of that?
Well, yeah, it's kind of interesting. There's a place in Lee, Massachusetts called the Morgan House. Michael and I sat down to have a nice supper there one evening, and we were doing some videotaping just to, tell people about the Morgan House. And in our video camera, we actually caught these little white balls flying by us. We thought at first they were just dust in the air. But we learned later on that they were actually orbs, which is a spirit type of thing.
Yeah, we're in the what they call the Bridgewater Triangle. I'm not sure if you ever did any research on that. But there was a story, I think it's one of the first stories Joey and I did back in April of 2019, on the red-headed hitchhiker on Route 44 through Dighton and Rehoboth and what was that third down? Seacon.
Seacon, yeah.
Right. And there was like stories about the redheaded, like people would see him out there. They had a nice show, he had a flannel shirt, he had work boots, and he made he scared people. So he'd walk in front of people and you swear you hit somebody, but you didn't. One couple was stuck. This was in the 70s before cell phones. So they were playing. So, I mean, there's a lot of folklore down here, especially down in the Hockomock Swamp. A lot of ghost stories down here. So, I mean, you can just tour New England chasing ghost stories. You can tour New England doing sports. You can tour New England hiking. You can tour doing rail stuff. Even racetracks.
Yeah. Speaking of the sport thing, there's a lot of older racetracks here in this area of New England. No, not in this area of New England. In New England in general, like Connecticut, there's several. And of course, you got the big one in Loudon. Have you been to any of these racetracks? And did either an article for it or talking about it on Touring New England?
Yeah, so there is actually Stanford Speedway, but down in New York State, there's trying to remember the name of the what's the name of the New York?
Seacon.
New York.
No.
Lebanon Valley.
Lebanon Valley.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Was that New York?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
So there's a lot of great places. And actually, I don't know if people know about, but Riverside Park, which is now Six Flags New England, they used to have a racetrack at one time. And my last year working there as a ride operator, I was actually up on one of the rides. And when I didn't have people riding my ride, I used to climb up on my operating booth, look over the fence at the modified going around the track. Pretty cool.
Steven, got a quick question now that we're on the race car, on the racing subject. Do you know of any, especially in your area, any dirt tracks for like off-roading, no more dune buggy kind of racing? I mean, we got a place down here in it's called Cape Way Racing. It's down in Carver, Massachusetts, and it's all dirt. Do you have anything like that that's like in the middle of nowhere? I mean, or even motocross, dirt bikes, something like that?
So for motocross, we have in Southwood, Massachusetts, it's in Southwood Motocross. And once a year they have the national motocross championships there in Southwood, Mass. motocross 338. They've been doing it for many, many years. They originally were right there off 20, but they actually moved now to, I guess, deeper into that spot. But also, if you want to do just free dirt bike riding without being on a track, there's Beartown, and there's a couple other state forests that you can actually go riding on.
Yeah, I heard that.
The other one.
I heard that they are friendly to off-road, and obviously you have to get a permit or something like that. But I did hear that, which is huge because not many states let you do that. There's one in Rentham that lets you ride too. All dirt bikes. I think it's dirt bikes only, no ATVs or nothing like that.
So we're running a little bit short on time here. About 5 minutes left here to go in the hour. One thing I want to make sure I ask you is for touring New England, what are some big guests that you've talked to? Some big names that you may have talked to, since starting touring New England?
We talked to Senator Ed Markey. He's one of our local senators. And we meet all types of fantastic, famous people, including our former church pastor, Reverend Lynn Walker, who recently wrote a book about trauma. And it's wonderful to know people that are up there and famous. And actually, I just saw, speaking of the Guthrie family, I just saw one of the Guthrie family members, Abe.
Yeah. Abe, yes, we've heard about him quite a bit.
I know he's had a successful career too over the years, doing folk. And just want to tell you something we saw last Sunday, a week ago.
I was going to mention this.
Yeah, we went up to a place called Tupelo Music Center, and we saw AJ Croce, the son of Jim Croce, which was there's a story behind. That I read that involved the Guthries. When he was 17, I guess he lived at the Guthrie house. I guess probably in Washington. I guess that's where his house is, and he really, he really was grateful to the Guthrie family and his wife Jackie at the time. And he bought an old bus, a 1973 tour bus off of our Guthrie. And then I guess he sold it back to him too, like 3 years later. But I know I was talking to somebody at our table when we were at Thanksgiving at the Guthrie Center last November. And the man I was talking to says, yeah, he's got a bunch of old tour buses hanging out at the farm. Can you confirm that? Does he? Do you know?
I'm not very sure, but I will tell you this. I spoke to Abe on this Friday at a place called the Stationery Factory. Abe is actually the manager there, and they have concerts all the time there with different musical artists. And they just recently had Abe's son performing in a band.
Oh,
Christian. Yeah. And I just learned that Christian has a little girl. So now the Guthrie family is in the 5th generation of Guthrie family members. Wow. So we got 5 generations of Guthrie family. And we're hoping and praying that the little girl that Abe's son had will join the music family. And you don't get musical families like that much anymore, like they used to.
No, we don't get many 5th, 6th, 7th generation.
Yeah, even Mo was saying he went on the road when he was younger. I think their last tour with Arlo, according to what Mo told us, is 2012. So I mean, you go back and look at a lot of his live stuff. He's always got his family on the. And it's funny too because AJ Croce kind of reminded me of Arlo because he's like a story. He tells stories, and his father Croce told stories, which was really good too, in my opinion.
So yeah, I mean the importance of storytelling in music. I think that's extremely.
I think Arlo was the. I think he was the architect of it.
I think he's the best. Yes,
he was the architect of it.
Yeah,
it was Arlo because he can do Amazing Grace and talk about The only reason I know about the Al Guthrie Center is because of a song I listened to called Amazing Grace. He did it in 1992 on Free. Yeah, and he talked about how he bought it, and the minister came by, asked him, "What are you doing, Harlow? What kind of church is this?" And I would never know unless I heard that song.
So what are your quick thoughts on that, Stephen?
There's actually video of Arlo up on doing the Muppet Show, and Arlo, Abe told me that he was only a young boy when Arlo was actually on the Muppet Show back when. So I understand we're low on time.
Yep. Yeah. So I want to ask, how can people get a hold of you if people want to learn more about traveling New England or touring New England?
So they can visit our website at touring, TOURING, New England.org, or they can reach our Gmail account at touringnewengland@gmail.com, or they can reach us by phone at 857-990-854, and the link's Monday through Friday.
Well, I want to thank you so much, Stephen, for calling in today.
Yeah, thank you.
And we're going to replay this interview. We're going to replay this interview tomorrow morning for Middleboro Matters, the April 20th, 2026 edition of Middleboro Matters, 11 a.m. to noon. And then on May 1st, for the first hour of Hometown Talk, we will, this 9 o'clock hour, we will replay that interview as well.
That'd be a good interview because that's the debut show of Louis Lohr's show.
Yes,
May 1st,
so it's going to be a great day of programming, by the way, May 1st.
About travel because that's
in general.
Travel and culture and everything else.
Exactly.
Hey, Stephen, we're going out to see Mo at some point next month, so hopefully you might be around. We can get a coffee or lunch and maybe, but we would like to meet up again. Maybe we can get a hold of you and maybe meet up for a coffee or something to eat.
Joey has my contact information as well.
Okay.
Yep.
Good, yeah.
So we'll be talking soon, Stephen.
All right, Joey. We'll talk to you a little bit later today.
Sounds good. Yep. Bye-bye.
Thank you for having me on your show. Have a good day.
No problem.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you, Stephen.
That was Stephen Provost. Gave us a call. Great interview.
Yeah, we met him at the Guthrie Center on Thanksgiving. It's funny how, you just meet people. It was great because you meet people from all walks of lives.
Absolutely.
We had a couple from Pennsylvania that came.
So thank you for listening to Middleboro Review. Hope everyone enjoyed this interview with Stephen. Again, we're playing it tomorrow, 11 a.m. to 12, and then on May 1st, Friday, during the first hour of Hometown Talk. All right. Bye-bye, everybody. Have a great rest of your weekend.
We are AM 1530, WVBF, Middleboro, Taunton, and W259DD, Middleboro Center, 99.7 FM, your hometown radio station.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm Michael Harrington. Iran now says the Strait of Hormuz is fully closed until the end of the U.S. blockade on Iranian
Bye,
ports.
everybody.
Iran says any vessel, quote, approaching the Strait of Hormuz will be considered as cooperating